Bueller and Dodge, and coming off a big win against Michelle, the Karate Hottie Watterson, fighting for the title against Joanna Champion this Saturday at UFC 217. It's Rose Namajunas. How are you today?
Doing pretty good.
So there's a lot of pre-hype and stories this past week that have been on the talk of mental health. Obviously, you don't shy away from the topic, but Joanna, on the other hand, decided to use this hype as like a type of warfare against you. You think she's crossed the line at all?
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that. You know, there's no line to be crossed. I mean, we're going to be punching each other in the face on Saturday, so you know, that's just part of her tactics and stuff. But I'm just worried about me. I'm just worried about my tactics and what I'm going to do to beat her on Saturday.
You made a statement that says, you know, right now my goal is to bring back the sport to respect and honor. Do you feel like the trash talk has gotten a little out of line overall across the sport? People, you know, kind of really digging in to try to make a name for themselves and make a character of themselves?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of, you know, just trying to say something for the shock value, and I don't feel like that's really in people's nature. You know, I think people are good by nature. It's just that they think that they have to say certain things or do certain things to, you know, to maybe make money or something like that. But really, for me, what I've realized is, like, yes, you know, I do need money and stuff, but that is not what I'm fighting for. You know, I'm trying to make a better life for me and my family, and you know, just try and be a good person and trying to influence other people to be nicer to people. You know, and martial arts, I think, is a great way to do that. You know, because it teaches you lots of good values. But I think you know, we've taken the martial arts aspect out of it and just, you know, focus on the entertainment of it. But to me, I think that the negative script is kind of played out, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's tiring, man. There's, you know, just negativity left and right wherever you look. So I'm just trying to be that light, you know, in this dark-ass room.
It seems like with the new direction of the UFC, with the new ownership with WME and all that stuff, that the squeaky wheel is definitely getting the grease, and Conor kind of opened that door. Do you feel like the direction of the UFC with the new owners, they are focusing more on the people that do have louder mouths than others and giving them more of what they want versus the people who are trying to fight their way up the chain?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I don't think being louder necessarily, like, you can still be a positive voice, you know, and talk, you know. It doesn't mean you got to be like, don't say nothing. But I think people are just, because they don't have nothing good to say, they're just saying anything. And so that's why, you know, there's just so much trash talk. And then it seems like people are saying what people think they want to hear rather than what they really feel like.
So everyone's talking about that moment when you and Joanna squared off, and you just gave this stone-faced, complete non-reaction, no-sell to everything that was going on. Definitely living up to that whole nickname that you have, Thug. Where do you go in that moment? Are you somewhere else? Are you and Pat hanging out on a beach somewhere in your head? Are you just...
I'm just a ghost, you know, man. I'm just... I feel everything and nothing all at the same time, you know. It's just where I go into my fight mode, you know, this other character comes out, and, you know, I have to fight to defend what's mine, you know. And, I don't know, I just snap into other self. My adrenaline is supremely high at that moment. So, you know, similar, it's not quite exactly the same as a fight, but it's pretty close, you know, because you never know what could happen at the face-off.
And Dodge brings up Pat Barry. What's it like having him back in your corner?
It's awesome. Definitely, you know, he's been with me since I started this, you know, career, and he's been with me, you know, every step of the way. Even when, you know, the fight with Carolina where he wasn't, he still was in the background. So, you know, it's just it's good to have him right there. You know, he's kind of like what puts everything together. He's Captain P, you know, Captain, and puts together, you know, all of the pieces for me.
You feel even like more complete then, now that he's there?
For sure, yeah. Especially, you know, he's super on point as well, and you know, definitely way more just in tune with everything than he ever has been. So it's really good. It's definitely important to have, somebody that has your back.
Well, we got to see a beautiful moment of you playing some piano. I think it was Chopin on your Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? How long have you been playing piano?
As long as I've been doing martial arts. I kind of took a little bit of a break ever since graduating from high school of the arts. When I grew up in Milwaukee, I was playing classical since I was 5 years old, and then in high school I went to performing arts school where we practice. I double majored in jazz and classical, so I got an introduction to jazz, and ever since then, I kind of realized that piano wasn't the passion that I wanted to do to make money. Of course, it is a passion of mine, but now that I have a house and I got a piano, I kind of I guess re-sparked that passion and been practicing my old songs from high school. It's still kind of rusty, but it's a good escape for me.
It sounded way better than anything I've done. I sound like a cat walking across the piano when I try to play.
I can play Heart and Soul. I can play one half of Heart and Soul.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something you would have been doing if you weren't fighting? Would you be teaching piano or even playing piano, maybe in a large production, or?
Probably not. Like high school. I shouldn't say probably not, but I would, maybe do it a little bit on the side, but probably not enough to make any kind of money. I don't know. I would probably still be doing something with martial arts, whether it be, regardless of if I was fighting or not.
So was it like, were you like just practicing Beethoven's Ninth one day at home and decided you wanted to punch people in the face?
No, I just, piano and martial arts were both two things that have been in my life simultaneously, and just martial arts was a way for me to deal with my emotions better. Like piano, you definitely express yourself, but for me, I had a lot of anger, and pent up frustration from just my childhood and stuff. So that was definitely more of a release for me, and still is. And it just feels good to be in really good shape and know that I don't know, you can whip somebody's
ass. So Halloween just passed us by. Did you and Pat Barry dress up as anything fun, or did you stay home and hand out candy?
Oh no, we went to our training center, 303 Training Center. They had a kids Halloween party, so we were the costume judgers, and Pat got his face painted, but that's pretty much it.
What costume won if you were the judges?
There was this one, Tony, my jiu-jitsu coach's son. He dressed up as a lunch lady. That was super hilarious. And there's this little boy who was in a Hulk costume, and it wasn't necessarily about the Hulk costume, but his presentation. He just jumped onto Pat, just tackled him, so it was pretty cute.
He was in character then, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you got your big fight coming up this weekend. We're really looking forward to it. UFC 217. Also, the return of George St. Pierre. Is it pretty cool to be fighting on that card with him?
Oh, I don't really care. I mean, I know it sounds terrible, but I just focus on my fight and that's it. I've fought on all these different cards with all these different people, but it's really hard to be a fan when you're fighting.
Well, that makes sense. You got to focus on keep your eye on the prize, which is this Saturday, going up against Joanna Champion. You can make her Joanna contender after this if you win the belt, right?
For sure.
We wish you the best of luck, Rose. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Saturday, again, it's going down UFC 217. Tune in, check it out. Thanks, Rose.